Hello, friends. We are here to open a case of Fantasy Flight Games, Twilight of the Republic, Star Wars Unlimited boosters. We're going to break this up into 6 different videos. Just, I don't know, give me a chance to ramble on a couple different subjects while we open these up. I know a lot of you might be wondering if Star Wars Unlimited is the game for you to get into, or if you've got any other questions. Hopefully I can answer something with this incoherent rambling I'm about to get into. So first off, this is kind of a pivotal set for the game, being set 3. A lot of games struggle to hit that second set. We've hit our third set, so that's great for us. Set 1 was really a good set, I think, as far as card games go. They did a fine job on that one. Set 2 was still good. Not the best of sets, but it was good enough. The legendaries were a little on the weak side, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the power was pretty much all in the rares. And there are even some uncommons that were fairly good. So I know that traditionally card games have always struggled with their second sets, because it's, they're designing to get that first set out the door, and then they have to try and make whatever changes they can to prepare for that second set, assuming the game survives. So all right. So one of the first things I want to touch on is the packaging. I am a very big fan of the paper boosters. And I'm really happy the promo packs changed as well, because the promo packs for Season 1 were still the foil plastic. And I'm glad they got rid of that. So we'll probably just kind of go through these. And no one really cares about commons and uncommons, but someone might. They're really rare base first off. I'm going to foil. I'm not a huge fan of the foils in this game. I will generally try and avoid them if possible. Actually, they're in the end of base. This feels like a different card stock for this set. I could be wrong. I don't really like the foils in this game too much, but I do love the hyperspace foils, so that's pretty cool. It looks like we got one of those right there. So we got Shadowed Intentions. God, I hope this is viewable there. And then a Ryloth Militia. Man, those hyperspace foils really are beautiful. And I do thoroughly enjoy actually just even collecting those. I thought maybe one of these days I would try and do a master or an entire set in hyperspace foils, but with how hard some of these sets are to get a hold of, I don't think that's going to happen. It's anyways, back to my incoherent rambling. I'm going to be really interested to see where this game goes after Set 3, because Set 3 was supposed to be kind of the game changer, the developer said. As far as kind of changing the tempo and the pacing of the game and what strategies are viable. Now, in my just kind of little bit of testing that I've been doing so far, I can kind of see that rush aggro strategies seem to be pretty fundamentally changed with this new set. So I know with a battle droid deck that I'm working on, I've just got so many units on the board so quick. But they're more of a resource than they are an actual unit. So I have to say the art has really grown on me with this game. There was some art from set 1 that I feel was a little on the questionable side. Ooh, General Grievous, nice. Carrier. The art from set 2 and set 3 is growing on me. I think there's a few artists that clearly shine compared to others. And I really hope these are all turning out. I'm going to feel awful if I didn't know Vanquish was reprinted in this set. If this video isn't going to turn out, but I think it'll be fine. People just care about the hits. They don't care about the quality. This is Poggle the Lesser is one that I'm working on at the moment, building a deck kind of around him with battle droids and then exploiting in big hitting units there towards the end. Anakin, I think he's probably the one leader that we're really the most excited to see going forward. I've seen some playtest videos of him that just look absolutely insane. Awesome, yeah. So, kind of to recap so far. I think set 1 was pretty healthy. I mean, yeah, you can argue that maybe Boba Fett was a little oppressive, but it seemed balanced enough to where it wasn't just Boba Fett winning. It was close, but it wasn't just Boba Fett. Ooh, a Satine Kryze. Set 2, I think, in the competitive season got a little lopsided with Boba. I think that even though he's not the only deck to play, I think he might be borderline in the conversation that maybe something needs to be done about him. Jenner, so what do we got here? Shake the will. Because that's one of the things that even Magic, if a deck in Magic got particularly oppressive, is when they would start looking at either banning pieces from the deck to slow it down or banning the main engine. I don't know if Boba Fett hits that threshold yet, but he might. I want to say it was like 33% of the meta in Magic is when they would start taking action. I think there were some, at the beginning of the competitive season, there was a lot of talk that Boba Fett was hitting 50% of the competitive meta, which, that's a problem. You don't want to have one deck just completely oppressive. If you're, trying to make a decision, ooh, man, that actually turned out really pretty. The hyperspace art on some of these cards is just great. But you don't want your choice to be between one deck and its counter in a competitive scene. That's generally how you always end up with a bad feels amongst your player base. So, and it kind of almost felt like we were hitting a point where if you want to win, you play Boba. Anything else, you're really just kind of wasting your time. It wasn't that bad, but it was getting close. But I think, to be honest, hopefully set 3 will shake things up enough to where we don't have to have this conversation anymore. But even if we do, I think there are... Oh, God, that art looks amazing. We could have conversations about pieces of Boba Fett that can be banned that would make the leader still playable and still possibly even good, but not nearly as oppressive. And I think the conversation we have there is... probably Fett's Fire Spray. Ooh, Sage Ventress. Fett's Fire Spray probably needs to be banned, if anything's going to be banned at all. Because, the value that Boba Fett provides is, although quite good, I think if you take away one of the most broken cards in the deck, that still makes the leader good and playable, but yet not quite as oppressive. Or, Overwhelming Barrage is kind of a busted card. I could see Overwhelming Barrage potentially be seeing its way to a ban. And I'm not one of those types of people that's going to say, oh, it's a good card. It's too many people are playing it. It needs to be banned. It's like, no, I understand that when you're designing a card game, you need to have cards that are pushed. SWU run. Side note, one of the most disappointing cards in the set. So you need to have cards that are good. You need to have cards that are pushed. Because you need something that's going to sell cards. You want to have, oh, that looks awesome. You want to have powerful decks. You want to have cards that are fun to play. Playing a game that is completely, oh, there we go. Completely balanced and tuned isn't, I mean, it's still fun, but, you want there to be a bit of excitement. It's being red. Control life. I mean, they've managed to keep the meta relatively healthy through set 1. Set 2 really didn't change things enough. We kind of were stuck with pretty much just Boba Fett being the clear winner, the clear number 1. Sabine probably the clear number 2. And I don't know who I would say is number 3. It might actually be Bosk. Bosk might be in the number 3 spot there. Cad Bane ended up being better at the end than I was thought he was going to be, so I was happy to see that happen. He still wasn't super playable outside of sealed. Oh yeah, more Wookiees. But and I apologize if if the sound doesn't end up coming out. I'm gonna have to go in and redub it. I'm unfortunately sick with COVID at the moment, so my voice might not quite be good enough for these. But we'll see. We'll see when we get to post. Then maybe I'll actually come up with some legit things that are worth talking about. I don't know about you guys, but I always like to keep my hyperspace foils. Very rarely will I ever play them. If I get a legendary, it immediately goes to grading because I think those are going to be the hardcore collectible items going forward, and those are the ones you're going to want to hold on to. So I think even if the game did fail, which I'm not saying I think it's going to, those hardcore, hard to find items are going to be what people are going to want to see. I mean, heck, there's still cards from the Dragon Ball Z game that Panini made. There's some of those cards that still they still sell for a decent amount. Heck, even the original Overpower card game from the mid-90s, there's still some cards for that game that go for quite a bit of money. Man, that's probably one of the worst examples of it, but the hyperspace ship artwork in this game looks so good. So far, this box hasn't been great. Really just a Grievous and a Satine. That's two legendaries. Okay, I take that back. Planetary Invasion, a useless legendary. 3 legendaries. But we got one last pack. Hopefully this is our pack. And you take that sometimes as when you play a card game where all of the value is pushed into a handful of cards, that means a lot of your rares, commons, and uncommons essentially have no value. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, so not a great box so far. I mean, we got the Sabine, Hyperspace. Okay, the Clone Wars hyperspace. I don't think that's going to see play. We got Grievous and a Satine. Meh, not necessarily great. But all right, thanks for tuning in, and then we will hit you guys up we'll do the rest of the boxes out of this case. I think I'm going to do a staggered release with them just to make sure, and then we will go from there. So thanks everyone for stopping by, and we'll see you later.